But yesterday, Trump is giving a speech, and, he says, Elon. He's not going to buy Twitter, Trump said after encouraging those in the attendance to use a competing social media platform, Truth Social. And where did you hear that before? From me. He's got himself a mess. I've looked at his contract. Elon says he's never voted Republican, but I didn't know that because he told me that he voted for me, so he's another bullshit artist. Anyway, so the moment Elon says this, Trump has to jump in and make a comment. So what are your thoughts about what's going on with this here, Adam?
Well, you're talking about the Twitter or the Trump there?
Both. Give me both.
Well, I would hope there's a couple different things going on. Number one, I would love to see Elon buy Twitter. I think Twitter's an absolute shit show. The whole thing that's happening with the bots. You have, people speculating that 5% of the user base is bots, and then you have Donald Trump Jr. speculating that 50% of the user base is bots. As far as the Trump situation, of course he needs to weigh in and poke fun at Elon. If I'm Trump, I'd like to have Elon as an advocate and an ally, not an enemy. That's not someone that I want to be feuding with. Keep in mind, as far as being a bullshit artist, that's like the pot calling the kettle black. By the way, there's a part of Trump that's there's an ego-driven thing. Trump's worth what? $2-3 billion, where an Elon Musk is worth what? $200-300 billion. So, if I'm Trump, number one, I want to have Elon on my side. He admitted that he would vote Republican this time, straight up. Whether that's DeSantis or Trump remains to be seen, but that's not the type of person you want to be fighting with. Furthermore, obviously Trump's always got an angle because what's his social media network? Truth Social. Aren't they trying to replace Twitter? So of course there's going to be some feuding with Elon on Trump's behalf.
As a businessman, what do you think is going on with him with the deal pulling? Is he playing a game?
No. Listen, like you made an offer on a house and you offered $1 million.
Okay.
During the 60 days closing period, all of a sudden, a war happens. COVID happens. A massive disruption happens to the market. And rates skyrocket whatever percent. Real estate valuation drops 20%. So that $1 million house you're buying, all of a sudden is worth $800,000. You go back to the buyer and say, look, I'm not buying this for $1 million. You're figuring out a way to get out of the deal. That's what he's trying to do. Either I'll buy it for a lot less after doing the inspection, or I'm not going to buy it and I'm going to lose whatever money that I'm putting. Sometimes when you're buying a house and you put, this one building I bought, not this one, the other building that I bought, the federal building, there was already a deal in place. I went in with a cash offer and I said, look, I'll buy this cash. He said, show us, if you're really serious about this. I said, what do you want me to do? He said, put a few $100,000 in an account that if we don't close the deal, you lose that money. Now that's a decision. So you see what happened right there? So what I say, okay, no problem. So I put a few $100,000 in an escrow account, sign an agreement that if I don't close it, it's not mine. But I bought it cash and I bought it discounted. Week later, that I get an offer for $6 million on that building. But I bought it for cash, right? So in this case, if he walks away, he pays that $1 billion, but these guys now want to sue him. And the CEO, I don't know if you guys saw what the CEO of Twitter said. The CEO of Twitter said, we're going to war. Can you pull this one up? We're going to war with Elon and, CEO of Twitter, type in CEO of Twitter, war, Musk. And you'll see an article that's going to pop up. There you go. Twitter CEO Parag Agrawal willing to go to war to make Elon Musk's deal happen. So go a little lower, go a little lower, go a little lower. CEOs of Arizona willing to go to war to make Elon Musk's $44 billion acquisition. Social media giant amid reports that the deal could be in jeopardy over the site's handling of spam and bots. After the market closed, Musk disclosed his SEC filing he was terminating the deal. Parag Agrawal, who assumed the chief executive job last fall after the company's co-founder Jack Dorsey stepped down from the role, is reportedly starting to come out fighting after the Musk repeatedly criticized. Okay, so he has to do that because if he doesn't show that, the investors, Agrawal would be due to receive a payout of $42 million under the current terms of the buyout. As with a handful of Twitter executives, Agrawal payout will be triggered by a so-called change in control clause in their contract, which kicks in either of them is terminated within 12 months of new ownership, assuming to help him of the company. So he has to do that because he has to be strong in front of his shareholders and in front of his board. He has to show that fight. Now, is he going to win? I don't know. There's a lot of people that are hoping that he can force him to buy Twitter. There's a lot of people that are hoping he ends up buying Twitter. By the way, there's a guy named Professor Galloway, Scott Galloway. I don't know if you guys follow this guy or not. Great content. He was supposed to have a show with CNN Plus until CNN Plus didn't make it with the $300 million.
CNN
They
negative.
didn't make it?
CNN what?
CNN negative.
CNN Negative. That's
Yeah.
a good point. Well, it's actually not a bad name for a show.
There we go.
So Scott's been playing a lot of games with Elon, just kind of driving him, saying you were never going to buy it. You were just kind of using
He's
this as a
trolling Elon.
hardcore. He's trolling him, eventually to the point where Elon just blocked him. And then he came and said, here's somebody that's for freedom of speech. Why are you blocking me? Why are you worried about what I have to say? So there's a lot of commentary that's going on there with this. I just think Elon made an offer that was 42, 44 billion, and Twitter's now probably worth 20% to 30% less. And he's sitting there saying, look, I lost $60 billion of my net worth. That was worth $300 billion. So if I would have bought it at $300 billion net worth, I've lost 20%. I'd like to buy this $2 billion company for 20% less, which is what? $34 billion. If you want to do that deal, I think that's kind of what's going on, but Twitter wants that additional $8 billion. I may be wrong.
Well, now Twitter's threatening to sue for $1 billion.
No, you're not. The billion they're going to get no matter what, because that's the billion. Like when I said I made that offer on that building, if I close that building or not, they're getting that cash in the escrow.
So you're saying that he has to pay that, or that's already
that
in
billion's
escrow?
in escrow. That billion, I assume that billion's going to go to Twitter no matter what. But Twitter is sitting there saying, no, we lost more than $1 billion.
So PPD, here's the question. We just got through with the whole Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, trial of the decade, whatever. What are the chances this goes to court, and how much bigger would this be, media-wise, than the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation?
Which one?
Twitter versus Elon Musk.
It's not going to be 1/100th of what the Amber Heard situation.
Oh, you think Johnny Depp and Amber Heard is going to be bigger than Elon versus Twitter?
Dude, look at your podcast when you do your podcast, and there's girl drama, guy drama,
You're
what
saying
happened?
the girl drama is what people want?
Are you serious? Amber Heard is the goat of drama. Like
I don't even. Yeah, because Elon wouldn't have to even go to court, right?
By the
He
way,
doesn't have to be there.
I find it very ironic that Amber Heard, who she was with before Johnny Depp, was freaking Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Not before Johnny Depp. While she was with Johnny Depp, her and Elon dated for a few. It wasn't before.
What? I thought it was before.
No, because her and Johnny have been around for a while. Her and Elon Musk had a fling, I think, last year or a couple years ago.
So you don't think that if Elon Musk went to trial versus Twitter, it would be mainstream news galore?
Zero. It would not be 1/100th of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Really?
Are you serious about this question?
Elon Musk is arguably the most famous person in the world.
Yeah, but do you think he'd have people testify? I don't think he'd have even
But
have
it'd
to
be a
say
litigation trial.
It
It
would
would
be
be
what?
exciting. It'd be like a litigation
no
trial. It
one's
wouldn't
gonna
be
give a
fun or
shit.
exciting or dramatic.
Yeah, unless
or,
he shows up in court and shits, and it's not going to be. It's not going to be
Now,
interesting.
if January 6th Trump goes to trial, now Amber Heard
Yeah.
came over, you kind of talk about 8 million people live watching that one. That's a different story.
Okay.
So, but this one, I don't think so. Look, there's a big camp that's hoping this guy ends up buying Twitter. Believe me,
What camp are you in?
I want to see him buy Twitter. I want to see what he's saying is when you get on, you and I are protected when Starbucks has a coffee bean. You and I are protected when a McDonald's has a Burger King. Mm-hmm. You and I are protected when a 24-hour fitness has an LA Fitness. You and I are protected when a CNN has a Fox. You and I are not protected because there is zero competitors on social media, virtual governments on the opposite side. None. Yeah. Every one of them is one side. And all the other ones that are on the opposite side, they're very, very small. So in this case, yeah, I do want him to buy Twitter. Yeah, I'd like to see other people also buy other platforms. I'd love to see a conservative buy New York Times. I'd love to see a fiscally conservative capitalist buy Fortune magazine. I'd like to see some of those things happening. But so I would like to see this guy win because I want to see 50-50. That's how I get clear to the truth, because I want to see debate.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.